side springs are almost bent the opposite direction.
Ooh.
So they're just kind of like really worn out. And
Okay.
probably if this thing got towed and picked up,
Uh-huh.
all that weight being put on the back of it.
It was full in the back.
Yeah,
I didn't have a chance to empty anything. The tanks were full, and I was begging for a trailer.
Yeah, that back. So the back leaf springs got either overloaded or bent or something, but
How bad
everything's
is it?
still connected down there.
Okay.
Like your shock struts are still connected, both the
Okay.
same on both sides, but
Okay.
that leaf spring kind of goes like this. So
I can see, but
your
that
leaf spring pack is not straight, but bent the opposite direction.
Okay.
So that's what's wrong, and that's why your thing's sitting to the side.
And you can feel it inside. Like
Yeah.
there's a few holes and stuff in the floor, the
Okay.
roof, that kind of stuff. The repairing this is like essential to my mental health because it's a home I shared with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like have a serious emotional connection to it. You know, to making it whatever I can do to. I need it. You know, as my home. Like another unit's like not gonna have. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I understand. There's sentimental value here.
Yeah, all that stuff. And I got cancer, so I'm headed downhill on that, and I just don't have the emotional strength to get a new unit, get a da-da-da. Even talking to you is difficult just because of all the back and forth and not knowing, and you know. So that's really wonderful. That's great to know that there's some hope there, because I thought it was just broke. Like
No, it's still connected. It's just that leaf spring looks backwards.
Okay.
So, and that's just like a worn out truck, you know?
Okay.
So it's just
All right.
a suspension item.
All right, so it's not something just completely off the.
No, it's not broken.
I'm not
or snapped.
expecting miracles. I'm not. You know, I grew up
Okay.
around cars. And my dad's
Yeah.
a mechanic. Well, late father. I've been around cars all my life, so I got a good idea of what's. But I didn't know. You can just keep that list if you need it.
So with the fuel pump issue in this, is that still an ongoing thing, or is
Okay.
that something that needs to be dealt with?
I said yeah, because it won't start. Now I had this one mechanic that got paid about $700, and then just difference of things were going on, wanted more money, didn't have it. Never run again properly without the starter fluid. And I've had older people tell me, like old school RVers, that inside of here, the Fords have a fuel inertia switch. Don't know if that's a myth. Don't know if it's something someone could have jiggled with.
Okay.
But ever since I had that mechanic, before then it would just start right up. Hook the battery up and just go. But now the battery's dead. Like when they came out with the other guy, it showed that it was a dead battery. But my son says alternator would fix that problem because it's got, you can tell it's older. But it might just be a switch in there that needs, so right now it doesn't, and the keys are stuck for some reason. Since the guy towed it over here, the keys are in it stuck, so I don't even know what to do with that. The gasket around the little shifter column, like...
Once you shoot it with starting fluid, it'll start though?
It'll start, and it'll, like I said, I put in about 8 gallons of gas by hand, and, poured it in, and put some fuel treatment in there, because I knew I wasn't going to be running it for a while.
Yeah.
So, haven't had anybody else try to start it first. It hasn't run, it'll start, but, and then when you stop it again, it's the same thing, it won't start again. And to me, it's not the alternator, because the alternator's not, but I don't know that, because I know.
No, you're right, it's not the alternator.
I don't think that it is, but the alternator looks like it's, in there.
So
but,
the alternator just keeps the battery charged.
Right.
All.
Yeah, and it's not an old. It's so old school, a '96, that everything in there is going. It still has crank windows and stuff.
Yeah.
We stopped working on it about the time they took out the inside the column. Okay, there's no thingy there that should be there for the blinker switch. They took it out and went off with it, and they got arrested for arson, and they're now in prison. So I can't, we were doing great. Yeah. Okay, that's what I mean, PTSD. But it was, you do what you can. So he did a master cylinder rebuild. We looked like we had brakes, everything was fine. That no brake lights, but we figured out there was power to this. But this is like August of 2021. So I haven't had the rat problem everyone else is out here with, because I got the cats, I think. And I think I also have like an underneath thing in there, but I don't have a rat or infestation of anything.
That's good. Almost everyone else does.
I know, it's a real blessing.